Don't go away. Hey, you. Yes, I'm talking to you. You deserve a break. Enjoy a moment of indulgence. It's time for Zanna Coffee. Guilt-free pleasure. Zanna Coffee is the organic coffee to amplify your senses and enhance love for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Only the best organic and GMO-free coffee beans from around the world that I selected. Zanna Coffee brings you happiness in every cup. Fair trade certified, sustainable organic coffee. That means we do not use slaves. Free Zanna songs with every coffee bag. Find Zanna Coffee at www.zannacoffee.com www.zannacoffee.com. Get your coffee bag now. Don't be cheap. Life is too short and you deserve the best. Zanna Coffee. Here we go, guys. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom. This is the first hour, second segment. As you know, I really enjoy this show because I would like to break down every type of walls and barriers. Sometimes when I listen to other radio stations, and I'm not trying to put them down, they do what they think is right for them. But I almost become like the official voice of the Republican Party. Seriously. Especially when you have some of their hosts, the Republican Party operative. I mean, I'm not, some of them I know them too, don't get me wrong. I wish them well and they're great people. But sometimes I say, is it nice when we can bring also some other sides that maybe we may agree or not, doesn't matter. So we don't become like, okay, this is all we talk about here. It's all about us. No, I think this is supposed to be an exchange of ideas. And I tell you, we have a lot of things that we may agree more than we think. And when it comes down to health, when it comes down to, of course, pollution, I think we should unite as Americans, as human beings. Because I tell you, when you drink water that is full of pesticides or full of garbage or contaminants, and, that water is going to be what you got stuck for you and your next generation. So we got to really open our minds, open our hearts, and don't be, this type of a know-it-all or this arrogance people that they think, oh, it's good because the government tell me it's good, must be good. If FDA approved that, means must be good. So drink it up and shut up. No, that's exactly how people died. That's why we had here, and we still have, for example, the Mohave downwinders. Because people that were so, somehow brainwashed to say, hey, government, you're nuking us. You're doing experiment on us. We are not pigs. We are not animals to test. And I feel sorry even for the animals to be tested like that. But we are human beings. And whatever you're bombing the crap out of there in Nevada, wherever you are, it's coming down to us. And now they're all dead, of course. So same story now. We have other little problems or potential problems or alleged problems that we need to at least have a conversation. First of all, the water that we're drinking can be contaminated, maybe die by the new type of farming areas that we have right now here in Mohave County by the use of this sort of a product that, yes, it is FDA approved, but, or whatever. The point government approved it, but doesn't mean that means it's good. Like, for example, this sort of a weed killer by Monsanto that it's called Roundup, that is proven that it completely can destroy your DNA and destroy your life, kill you, and create deformity in of course, infants and many other terrible things. And doesn't go away, by the way. Okay, let me shut up. I have here with me a guest that I promised to her to come back because we didn't have all the time I wanted to give her. And she's a political activist. She's running for a County Supervisor District 1, if I'm not wrong. And her name is Denise Bensusan. And she calls herself, and correct me if I'm wrong, Denise, a progressive, liberal with carrying a gun. Probably I made a mistake. Denise, are you there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, hi. How you doing?
Oh, very good, very good. First of all, introduce yourself, give your information, website, whatever exactly, how you define yourself as a political candidate. Go ahead.
Well, I don't consider myself a politician, that's for sure. I consider myself a representative. I don't like that whole attitude. I think that we have to represent the people. We all have to. That's who we all are. But my name's Denise Bensusan, and I've lived out here in Arizona for about 22 years. And I've been an environmental political activist for most of my life. And of course, when I moved out here, it didn't change. And I've been very involved in community activities and issues, and got wrapped up in the water issue in particular back in around 2007, 2008. And I do post all that on my website, which is denisebensusan.com. And then you can find me on Facebook at under Denise Bensusan. And most of it's public, so you don't even have to be my friend. But yeah, we had some tough times here concerning our water supplies. And, you mentioned the downwinders. One of the original ladies that started that group gave me some interesting data and information from back in the 1990s that I have here in my truckload full of data. So, hopefully I can answer any of your questions. You mentioned the farms. Of course, I can speak more to the walleye aquifers than the detrital, but I know a lot about all of them. The big issue really is the huge amount of not only water, but they are putting pesticides, weed killers, fertilizers on huge amount of acreages, anywhere from 4,000 to 10,000. I think they're up to 10,000 out here.
Wow.
And so, and considering they're growing alfalfa, at least out here, when you think about it, alfalfa is the second most intensive water crop in the world. And they put 5 tons of fertilizer, average 5 tons of weed killer, et cetera, per acre.
Wow. Gosh.
It's per growing season for alfalfa. So we've got a double whammy. We've not only got the second most water intensive product being grown here in a desert environment with limited water resources. But we're also throwing fertilizer and weed killer in massive amounts on top of our water supply. It's not like our water's coming from the river down the road. Yeah. It's right above there. So and they're claiming that. Now I'll tell you what. This is actually per Stockton Hill Farms or whoever happens to be involved in those investments these days. Mm-hmm. You can't even tell who's involved in it, to be honest. Is that supposedly the weed killer and such only goes down around 1,000 feet. I did mention that, but we just don't know that. If it's going down, how are we going to find out until it's too late? If the water has been contaminated, let alone we don't have enough of it. Go ahead.
Now, this is important. You say 1,000 feet. Many wells may also be below that. And by the way, we're talking about something that glyphosate. Okay, let me spell it out because sometimes I'm so bad saying things. GLYPHOSATE, glyphosate. Okay. That it doesn't go away. It's not like, okay, evaporates, okay, it dissolves. No, that accumulates. So more you put it, not only in the body of the human being body, but also in the environment. So it's like something terrible. What it does, I'm not a doctor here, okay? I can barely speak English, for God's sake. But even an immigrant like me can understand. When you drink that stuff, or you put it in your food, okay, and you eat it, or you breathe it, because after all, we have winds here. It starts to go into your immune system, your endocrine system, and your nervous system, and also really damages the DNA. So this is huge. I beg people out there, don't just be silent and think that you can close the window, everything's fine, because this stuff, it will kill you, your children, and the next generation. They're not going to have any water to drink. Okay, and never trust the government because they say, okay, it's approved. Let's say our local county government say, oh, everything's fine. We got water. Everything's cool. Don't trust any of these bastards. Okay, go ahead.
Well, and we cannot count on the government to assist us if there's a crisis. Look at think about Katrina and the natural disasters and catastrophes that happened. Our government cannot be counted on to save us. We better be darn well ready to save ourselves. Because that's just the bottom line. Can you imagine the chaos that would happen in the streets when our water supply runs out or is totally contaminated? Either way, there's no water. Yeah. Let me tell you something. People will do whatever they have to do to get water. and so will our government. And you know, when they mentioned you mentioned
glyphosate.
That's how I pronounce it, but that's all right. They call it the hider. It hides for years in the water, and they can't. Doesn't come up in the tests.
Yeah.
They're trying to make new testing for it, but they have not been able to. So as I said, you're absolutely right. But it's just hiding there. And we don't even know it's there.
Another thing also, Denise, normally they use this type of product, Monsanto, or let's say this weed killer called exactly Roundup, that contains this glyphosate, because at the bottom line is the plants, the vegetables, whatever they're growing, they are genetically modified to resist this poison. That's the bottom line. That's why it's a double slam. Not only you're going to get all this poison into you, into your system, and into the environment, but also you're going to eat something that most of the case is going to be GMO. That's another story there too. Without being a scientist, I tell you guys, I don't care which party you are, but I tell you, they did experiments, university experiment. By the way, in France, there was a professor that the Monsanto sued. And guess what? The Monsanto lost the lawsuit, and the professor was proven right. And the bottom line is that if you get, for example, rodents, little mice labs, okay, and you give them like in 6-7 generations, doesn't take much for rats to make 5 or 6 generations. We're talking about maybe a couple of years. Only grains, GMO grains, they're going to have all proven a highest percentage of tumors, cancer, and terrible diseases and deformity. Okay, so think about it. We are just generation 1 maybe here. Guess what's going to happen? Maybe a couple of generations eating that poison food called GMO food. And by the way, Obama is being shielding and abating of Monsanto just with the latest pieces of legislation. Are you aware of that?
Well, yeah, and Monsanto is suing farmers for retaining seeds because of the GMO factors in them. They're actually suing the farmers because I guess they're hanging on to these genetically modified seeds.
Yes.
And they don't want them to because of, I guess, the issues that surround them, the negative issues that surround them.
Yes, but what do you think about Obama signing the Monsanto Protection Act? Now we cannot even label anymore. Let me spell it out. Probably you already know what it means, but for people that we have the right as consumers, as human beings, forget about consumers. I'm a human being. I want to know what I'm eating. And now the federal government, with this Monsanto Protection Act, the Obama signed, we are not allowed to even to label, GMO food. Okay, let's say we're supposed to know if this is GMO or not. No, the government said you cannot know that. What do you think about Obama selling us out? Yeah, for me, never.
Well, I tell you what. The corruption just never stops, and it goes clear to the top. It just seems we always protect the corporations and the big wealthy businesses, and the other 99% of us just.
Okay, listen. Corporations, that's fine. There are always corrupted corporations out there, but the bottom line is government. Okay, doesn't matter who is in charge. I hope you woke up there too, because I woke up a long time ago as a former Republican. No matter if the Republican or Democrats, they're all selling their butt to the corporations, and we are the one pay the consequences. And Obama, according to facts, he pretty much sided with Monsanto, and he signed that bill to protect Monsanto and to pretty much not giving us the right to know if we are eating something that is GMO. We cannot even label any more products. So I'm tired to always find pointed on corporations. We know there are evil bastards out there that want to try not just to make a buck on us, but they also want to kill us. That's the way I tell you. But the problem is, the government now is in charge. Obama this time was in charge. He signed that. So you as a Democrat, I want to know, spell it out. What do you think about Mr. Obama, that's supposed to be for the environment, siding with Monsanto? What do you think he's doing here?
I don't like it. Don't like it at all. And you know that I tend to try to be nonpartisan as I can be. Matter of fact, I consider myself a progressive more than anything. You mentioned, them keeping secrets from us and hiding things and not protecting us, quite frankly, and, doing things against our, that will hurt our health and our family's health and our futures. I mean, we've seen that here locally. I mean, we just, the water issue is so combined with quantity and quality, just as you said, and that hasn't been protected here. And our leaders have known that I'm only speaking to what I personally know. I personally know they've had this scientific data and all this research that we all have, that Jack Earhart and I and the groups that we formed, Robert Fenwick and Fern Fenwick and all the citizens that came together. It's since around 2008 and 2009. I just double-checked it.
Mm-hmm.
And so, we personally informed them of these issues and given them copies of the data, and we would get nice little smiles and thank yous. And still to this day, still nothing's been done, and they're not going to do anything.
Denise,
give me up to these citizens.
Give us names. This is public business. What you do is a public business. These are public officials, public servants, I like to call them. Give us names. I like to call them in case they answer to the phone, of course. Where are these people you given documents?
Now, are you talking about the people that we have informed of these issues?
Yes. In the county government, I'm sure
every single one of them.
So, give me names. Give me names.
Oh, well, Gary Watson, Moss, Angus. Who else have we got out there? Now, Bishop's aware because, matter of fact, though, I will tell you that Gene Bishop wrote a letter in the positive for me back when I was suing Wildfire Valley Solar to the issues, a positive one, to the issues of the, worries about the water supply here. So, I really, she is aware that she did take steps to assist someone that was involved in trying to do something about it. It's a shame, though, that the citizens group had to do it. And not our leaders who can do something about it. And, it's a shame we had to go those directions that we went, and we still are in a bad shape here. I mean, we're still, even the issue on that transfer of water out of the district that was such a big deal. Well, we are transferring water out of the district by the growth of alfalfa, utilizing huge trillions amounts of gallons of water, and then shipping it over to China or wherever. It doesn't even matter.
Wow.
The water is being transported via alfalfa out of this district. Don't they? I just can't believe our leaders can't see that. It's just like shipping it out at night on trucks.
I never thought about that. That's true. People say, okay, the water is here. No, the point is you grow food or you grow a product that is going to be shipped overseas or outside our area. And the point is, they're using us pretty much like the water pocket and sooner or later we're going to run out. I am all for individual rights and property rights. Don't get me wrong, guys. But there is a point here. If we know how much water we have, first of all, we need to drink, okay? Then if you want to do other stuff, that's great. But we must be sure that we have enough water to drink and take a bath once in a while, okay? That's the bottom line. And then we can go from there. After all, we are living in the desert. We are not exactly living in Colorado, okay? With the rivers and all this stuff. Now, listen, just to change one second topic, I have a few more minutes left. You as a Democrat, regardless, of course, you're called the progressive, but you're still under the Democratic card member. What do you think after all these new emails proving that all the Bernie Sanders supporters, they've been pretty much frauded, they've been treated like a bunch of kids, there was just a little candy bar, say, by the way, you go there, cast your vote and feel good about it, but don't worry because Mama Hillary, she will take care of it. And regardless of what you vote, you already got the results, idiots. And I'm not trying to put you down, but that's pretty much the way the DNC Central Command there of evil people, they talk about you guys, all the Bernie Sanders supported. How do you feel now going out and voting for the witch?
Well, you know what? That's interesting because last night at the District 1 Democratic meeting down in Calico's, the two Democrats that went to the DNC, to the big shebang, gave, told everybody about, how it went and what they did, et cetera. And it was interesting because the one person, I'm not going to mention any names, I'm not sure if they'd like that, but the one person that actually kind of went the other direction and didn't go to the classic DNC events went to the Bernie Sanders part of it. There was actually there were huge amounts of people that attended it, and I guess they actually booed him off the stage because he said that to support Hillary instead of him, instead of going on,
He sold
out.
out.
And of course, I don't know what else he could do, but I guess it's a little bit of a ruckus.
No, listen, booing it's fine. It's a good start. And even maybe some tomatoes wouldn't be a bad idea to throw at all of them. but my point is, at the end of the day, they are forcing you between the hammer and the anvil, okay? And the bottom line is, no matter what you vote, and probably, I think Bernie Sanders, according to facts and votes, he may have a chance, okay? But no matter, doesn't matter. You still, at the end of the day, it's an illusion. They already decided who's going to be the winner, at least for the primaries. And how can you go there, back to the polls, say, okay, after all, that's the way it is. I couldn't do that. And I'm not a Republican. Of course, I'm not even going to that area. But I'm talking about if I was a Democrat, I could not vote for the devil. I don't care if the other one is another devil. I couldn't go there, especially after I know that you've been frauded. All the Democrats that were voting for Bernie Sanders, you've been sold out down the river. How can you go there to vote for Mrs. Corporations, for Mrs. New World Order, for this family oligarchy between the Bushes and the Clinton? They pretty much control this country the last 40 years. I mean, that's insane. So what you gonna vote? Are you gonna vote for Hillary?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know what, I have no idea what I'm going to do at this point. I've been kind of following everything because, to see what's going on.
All right.
I think it'll happen just like it always does. I think the Republicans and the Democrats will split off and they'll vote for their people. I mean, in general, that's what I think will happen. I've always tried to do my research and see who is the best candidate.
No research. They are both crooks. The point, but that's your choice. Listen.
Yeah, well, you mentioned running out of water. I want to make a point real quick to you, and this is per hydrologist and per AWR, and actually Mohave County's hydrologist. And this was even from back in 2014 and before, that now this speaking of the Wallapai Basin is already in a deficit. And check this out. Now, you mentioned agricultural. Louis Vega, remember Louis Vega?
No.
He was part of Mohave County. He tells them in a report I'm looking at right now, specifically on the last page, that I don't want to misquote him. You're going to like this one. Stop low priority, high volume uses of water, agriculture. Stop agriculture. So he advised them, even in 2014, no more agriculture here. Not like that. Yeah. That there's just, and he makes a comment that it says groundwater is being mined without other sources, the Wallapai aquifer will run dry.
Yes.
That's his comment right there. I just read it off of there.
Listen.
Yeah, Denise, it just seems like our whole government is not protecting us, and they're not going to be able to take care of us when this happens.
Listen, give me I have 30 more seconds. I want you to give your website one more time, how people can reach you and maybe help you out in this struggle. Regardless, the elections, election come and goes, but we need to get involved 24/7. Go ahead.
You bet.
Go ahead, Denise.
You bet. Well, like I say, I'm Denise Bensusan. You can reach me, get me on Facebook at Denise Bensusan or DeniseBensusan.com.
Perfect.
And hey, it was nice talking with you, Luca. If you want to get down to some water, I got a truckload of stuff to talk about if you want.
Maybe I would like to come one of these days or to your meetings. Listen, let me go. We are hour number 2. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna on K-Talks 13.